Is your leadership style helping or hindering you? Hi, I'm Roxanne St. Clair, and welcome to today's episode where I will be looking at the 7 distinctive leadership styles and helping you to identify which one suits you the most, and maybe even look at the combination of different styles that you may use over time. Because we're not always a leader in one particular aspect of our lives. It could be at home, it could be at work, it could be in a faster paced environment, a slower paced environment. And for each one, we may actually adopt a different style of leadership depending on the environment that we're in. So, as I mentioned before, there are 7 distinctive styles, and I'll just give you an overview of what they will entail, and you can identify for yourself which best suits you and maybe where you seem to adopt that particular leadership style and start to think about how that helps or hinders you. So, are you the kind of person, for example, who just likes to tell people what to do and you expect them to do what you say? And we've all had leaders like that. We've been in environments like that. We probably go back to our school days and think about the classrooms where teachers may have just told us to get on and do something, want us to do whatever they've instructed us to do, and not want questions. But there will always be somebody that's going to ask a question or even challenge an instruction. So that's one type of leader. You also have the type of person that wants to get everybody on board. So you will paint a picture, you'll have the vision, you'll share that vision with everybody and want them to buy into it. So that's another style. And normally you have an element of confidence because you're so clear on what the outcome that you want. You can confidently encourage people to buy into that vision that you have and you lead in that way. Or maybe you're somebody that leads by example. You've got your own drive, you've got your way of doing things, and you just want people to do things how you do it. You don't necessarily want people to challenge it or try and change things because you know that that's the best way to do things and that's what you want people to do. Alternatively, you could be the kind of leader that actually is more inclusive. So you want more participation from the group in the decision making process. And you will ask questions, you'll ask people what they think, what they want to contribute to the overall actions and activities of the group. And you lead in that way. So you've got people to buy in because they feel more invested in the decision making process. Or maybe you're one of those leaders that you know that the people within your team have more to offer and more to give. So rather than you being the person that instructs everything, you being the person that has all the I's dotted and all the T's crossed because you know the exact way that things need to be done, you let people learn as they're doing because you want to pull out the potential in your team, pull out the potential in the people around you. And you know, to do that, you have to step back a bit and let them actually learn. And maybe sometimes they will make mistakes, but you want them to learn, you want them to grow, and you want them to evolve because you're more interested in developing leaders. You're more interested in bringing out their potential or helping them to see things that maybe they don't see for themselves at this precise moment in time, but you know they can grow into it. Or maybe you're the type of leader that connection is very important. So you're very much about your people. You're very much about how can you make things better for your team? How can you make things better for the people around you? And you're coming from that space of how should I put this in simple terms? There is a term for it, which is servant leader, that I wanted to look at you more sort of in tune to people's emotions and their feelings, and you want to bring that out. You make that welcome within your environment. And then finally, maybe your way of leading is literally by being hands off. And you want people to work things out for themselves, to just get on and do and deliver, and you will then see what they produce. So there's no right or wrong way of leading. There's no particular one that you have to adopt, but it's always useful to understand which one is your dominant leadership style, because then you can understand what kind of environments you can have more impact and better impact. So I don't know, maybe you've found that the particular way of leading, you've had lots of challenges within your team, and you're not always sure why, because as far as you're concerned, you're doing what's right by your team. You want certain results. It's to the team's advantage to achieve those results. However, they're just not doing what you want them to do. And it could be for any number of reasons, but sometimes it's generational, because we can see that some types of people, and maybe people that have been used to old styles of working, they have a vision, a picture of what a leader is, and they're used to working with that, and they're fine. But you have younger generations, for example, things need to make sense. And I think this is obviously, well, this is speaking on the broad terms, but with a lot of younger people, if something does not make sense to them, then they will question why they should be doing something. And as a parent, I've come across that many a time. Younger people are not frightened to speak up and challenge authority if they feel that there's a better way or something's been missed. Whereas in older traditional environments, that wasn't done. We had more respect for authority, and therefore we would get on and do things, or we'd agree to do things and maybe find ways to work around tweaking it a little bit, just so that it could work how we felt it should work. So again, it's also very important to consider, is your leadership style appropriate for the group of people that you're working with? Or maybe you need to use a combination of styles. So for elements of, say, a project, for example, where you're starting the project, people are not aware of what it's about, you may need to be more of the visionary, and therefore you share the vision with the team as to what the outcome could look like, and you get the buy-in from the team. And then once they've got that and they're ready, you may then realize that at the next phase, you could be a bit more of a laissez-faire type leader and leave your people to get on with it. Because the other challenge is that when you have people who are capable and competent, not to micromanage them. In particular, if you have people who are quite skilled and quite knowledgeable about their own area, and you want them to perform a task, but then you're micromanaging them, and that just defeats the whole object. It will impact their motivation. They will stop being creative, and maybe even get to the stage whereby they're not producing just because of the fact that their motivation's gone. They then feel as though you doubt their capability because you're telling them how to do the job that they know how to do. And that's what you brought them on board to do in the first place. So it's very important for you to start to look at the environment you're in and which element of leadership was best suited to that particular task, that particular role, or even the team. So this is, as I said, an introduction. It's to help you to look at your own leadership style, maybe identify some of the reasons why you may or may not be getting the results that you want. And in order to help you with this, I do have a short PDF document that lists the leadership styles I've just gone over. It helps you to look at the types, it looks at the attributes of that, and even gives you a bit of a definition to show you what you would normally do in those kinds of roles. And there's some exercises that you can do to identify your predominant leadership style, and then to assess how that actually works for you, and maybe come up with some ideas and suggestions as to little things that you can tweak that can help you to get better results from your team and be more impactful as a leader. So I will give you the link in the description and also in the comments. If you look below, you can actually download that gift from me. And really, it's just to help you to enjoy your leadership role, to become a more impactful leader, and therefore get the results that you want to achieve, and also for your team. As I mentioned, this was an introduction, so I will go further into each leadership style on individual videos that I will be sharing shortly, and you can then go into more detail into your own particular leadership style and see how that works for you, where it's hindering you, what you can do to address it, and maybe even get help and support on that. So thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to connecting with you again on another episode. Bye for now.